5.3 Day 2, we're solving trigonometric equations. We're going to solve trig equations involving multiple angles. We're going to use inverse trig functions to solve trig equations. Then we're actually going to use a quadratic formula in solving some trig equations as well. So functions involving multiple angles. The next two examples involve trig functions of multiple angles of the form cosine of KU and tangent of KU. To solve equations involving these forms, you're going to first solve the equation for KU and then divide your result by K. So here's our first example. We're going to solve 2 cosine of 3t minus 1 equals 0. So first let's add 1 to both sides. So we have 2 cosine of 3t equals 1. Then we divide by 2. So you have cosine of 3t equals 1/2. So that's what it said here. First solve the equation for KU, then divide the result by K. So let's take a look at cosine of 3t equals 1/2. So when does cosine equal 1/2? So cosine equals 1/2, positive at pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. So x equals pi over 3, sorry, it's 3x, or let's write that as 3t. 3t equals pi over 3 plus 2n pi. Then the other one is 3t equals 5 pi over 3 plus 2n pi. So same thing that we did yesterday. Now when we do this, the last thing we need to do is solve for t. And so in order to solve for t, we're going to divide by 3. Remember, when you divide by 3, we're really multiplying in the denominator there. Then 3 goes here. Divide by 3. So 3 here and 3 here. So therefore our answer is t equals pi over 9 plus 2n pi over 3. The next one is t equals 5 pi over 9 plus 2n pi over 3. It's the same thing that we did previously. We just have to divide right at the very end. Okay, try this example here. Okay, if you try this out, you would find that you would get sine of 2t equals root 3 over 2, and then you find the angles are at pi over 3 and 2 pi over 3, and so it just has to solve. So we have 2t equals pi over 3 plus 2n pi, and 2t equals 2 pi over 3 plus 2n pi. Then you after that, you divide by 2 to solve for just t. So you get t equals pi over 6 plus n pi, and t equals pi over 3 plus n pi. So let's try solving 3 tangent of x over 2 plus 3 equals 0. So let's subtract 3 from both sides first. We get 3 tangent of x over 2 equals negative 3. Then we divide by 3. So tangent of x over 2 equals negative 1. So then we think about when is tangent negative. We need to think about that it is a period of pi, so we only need 1. So it is here at 3 pi over 4. So x over 2 equals 3 pi over 4 plus n pi. Then to solve, we just multiply it by 2. So therefore, the answer is x equals 3 pi over 2 plus 2n pi. Try this example here. Now this is x over 2, and then this should be a negative 2 here. Okay, so use that with a negative 2. So if you try this out, you would have gotten 10 of x over 2 equals 1, and then tangent equals 1 at pi over 4, and then you have to add n pi to it. Then to solve, you multiply by 2, you get pi over 2 plus 2n pi.